I've lived without knowing the love from a mother. That's because my mother passed away shortly after giving birth to me. My father, with the help of his family, raised me single-handedly. And at the age of 28, I got married to my wife, Emma. We were blessed with 2 children, and I deeply felt the preciousness of having a family. But that happiness didn't last long. When I was only 35 years old, Emma, who was 1 year younger than me, was diagnosed with breast cancer. Despite undergoing chemotherapy, the cancer gradually ate away at Emma's body. And at the young age of 38, Emma passed away. Both I and the children were left with a profound sense of loss from losing Emma. My Mill, Sophia, said with a dignified expression when my wife passed away. This was Emma's lifespan, so there's nothing we can do even though. Thank you, Andy, for marrying Emma. I believe she was happy. Despite Sophia got the pain of losing her only daughter, she behaved bravely in front of the relatives who gathered for the funeral. However, when Emma's coffin was taken into the crematorium, Sophia, who had remained composed until then, completely changed. Upon seeing Emma's coffin being placed into the cremation furnace, Sophia exclaimed in this way, "Emma! Emma, wake up!" And finally, she fell to her knees with crying uncontrollably. In my life, I have never experienced a moment that pained my heart as much as that. Emma's father also passed away from cancer when he was young, and Sophia had raised Emma with great care, despite the hardships of being a single mother. But Emma's life ended before her own. After Emma's death, Sophia came to live with me in my house. It had been a week since we started living together when something happened as I was about to leave for work and unlocked the front door. Sophia came bustling to the entrance, holding something in her hands. "Andy, here you go, your lunchbox," Sophia said as she handed over a lunchbox wrapped in a checkered handkerchief. When Emma was healthy, she used to pack a lunchbox for her every day, right? Eating out every day costs much money, so I'll make them from now on. Certainly, as I approached 40 years old, I had started to worry about my protruding belly. However, I wasn't skilled in cooking, and I couldn't quite bring myself to make my own lunchbox. "Thank you so much, Mill." As I expressed my gratitude, she spoke as if calling out to her son heading to school, said, "Don't space out, look ahead and walk properly. Take care and have a good day." I put the lunchbox that Sophia had made for me into my bag and headed to work energetically. When it was lunchtime, I moved to the break area with my colleague Smith. "Huh? Did you make that lunchbox?" Since Emma passed away, my lunches consisted only of deep-fried lunchboxes sold cheaply at the lunchbox shop. Today, my Mill made it for me. Wow, it's amazing. It's filled with so many things that look good for the body. There were vibrant side dishes like sautéed mushrooms and spinach with ginger soy sauce, simmered pumpkin, and pickled carrots, tightly packed in the lunchbox. I wondered how much time Sophia must have spent making all of this. To express my gratitude to her, I decided to buy a red carnation on my way back home. When I arrived home, I handed the empty lunchbox and the bouquet of carnations to Sophia. Sophia surprised and she exclaimed, "Oh my! I've never received such a lovely bouquet even from your father. I'm sorry for making you feel obligated in return. No, it must have taken a lot of time to make so many side dishes. And it was a very healthy lunchbox, which I appreciate since I've been concerned about my health lately." In response, Mrs. Sophia began arranging the side dishes on the dining table and said, "If it's okay with you, Andy, would you let me continue making lunchbox for you? Since my daughter is no longer here, I feel lonely too. But you know, when I'm cooking for everyone like this, it helps distract me and makes me feel really good. I also felt incredibly lonely after Emma was gone. The sudden absence of someone who used to be there by my side, it's a loneliness that, in my case, I've been trying to distract myself from it through work. So, my answer to Sophia's proposal was the only option. Of course, I'd love to. But please don't overexert yourself, Mil. Upon hearing my response, Sophia smiled brightly and said, "Great, it's settled. Well, if that's the case, I need to start preparing for tomorrow." Since Emma passed away, I have seen Sophia crying alone in her room several times. She always suppresses her voice, making sure it's never heard from other rooms. In front of me and the children, Sophia behaves cheerfully and laughs heartily even when problems arise. But I believe she is the one who mourns Emma's death the most and has lost hope in her life. If making these lunchbox can bring some respite to Sophia, it would be a good choice for both me and her. From then on, Sophia made lunchbox for us every day. On days when there were important business negotiations, we would have a bowl of rice topped with slices of deep-fried pork. When I was struggling with work and things weren't going well, she would pack a lunchbox with only my favorite side dishes. As the children entered high school, she also had to make an extra lunch box for them, so occasionally there were days when she made cute lunchbox tailored to our daughter. And when I was diagnosed with high cholesterol during a workplace health checkup, Sophia started studying nutrition. There were times when she would study late into the night, and there were days when I asked her not to push herself because she was getting older. However, Sophia responded to my words with a beaming smile. "I'm taking a nap, so I'll be fine. Even at my age, I can't help but enjoy acquiring new knowledge. When I was young, there were wars and all sorts of things going on, so I had fewer opportunities to study what I liked. That's why now, I feel like I've become a college student." At that moment, Sophia's eyes resembled those of her wife, Emma. When Emma became interested in gardening, she would forget the time and immerse herself in gardening magazines all night long. I said to Emma, who hadn't slept a wink until morning, "It's great to be passionate about something, but don't neglect your health." Then Emma, with the same look as Sophia back then, responded, "It's so much fun to expand my knowledge. But I'll be careful. Thank you." It was a moment when I thought, both Emma and Sophia are truly mother and daughter. And time passed, and I finally reached the day of retirement. Sophia was 82 years old at that time. Despite her age, she was very energetic and had never been hospitalized, although she had regular medical appointments. When she caught a cold or felt unwell, and she continued to make my lunch box every day. On the morning of the day I headed to my last day of work, I received the usual lunch box from Sophia and left home. Since losing my wife, I had been working relentlessly. I believe that I was able to devote myself to work because Sophia took care of the housework and the children so well. Moreover, the meals she prepared every day were well balanced, taking into consideration the family's health. Thanks to that, now that I have reached 60 years old, I don't have any problematic items in my health checkups and I'm leading a very healthy life. As I was leaving the house, I said to Sophia, who was seeing me off at the entrance, "Thank you very much, Mil, for making me lunch box every day until today. Thanks to you, I was able to reach retirement safely." Then, Sophia, who had a noticeably hunched back, immediately sat in seiza, a formal Japanese sitting position, and bowed deeply, touching the floor with 3 fingers. "Thank you for your hard work throughout your career. Just one more day, give it your best." I carried my lunchbox as usual and headed to work. When I arrived at the workplace, I stamped the final seal. Normally, it was a tedious task, but on this day, even that felt nostalgic. My subordinates bustling around and me, the successor, scolding them. Every scene in the workplace felt dear at that moment. During lunch break, I had my last lunch at work with Smith, a colleague who was also retiring. Sophia's meals could be eaten at home, but there was a different feeling when it came to the lunchbox. I think it's because the lunchbox allows you to perceive the hidden message from the maker. Get it together. Cheer up. Since you had a drinking party until late last night, let's have a stomach-friendly meal today. I looked forward to eating such lunchbox every day. No matter how unpleasant things were at work, eating the lunchbox made by Sophia would rejuvenate me. Even when I was feeling unwell, eating Sophia's lunchbox properly helped me get through the afternoon. To Sophia, I was her daughter's husband, and we had no blood relation. But through Sophia's lunchbox, I felt a mother's love. When I was young, my grandmother used to make my lunchbox for school outings, but it was usually just onigiri and rolled omelette. As I reflected on my life, I opened the wrapping of the lunchbox. And there, on top of the lunchbox, was a piece of paper. It was a letter from Mrs. Sophia. Andy, thank you for giving me the important role of making lunchboxes. After losing my husband early and even my daughter, I struggled every day, wondering how I should live and what should be my purpose in life. But thanks to the role of making lunchboxes that I was given, I have been able to live happily until today. Even when my daughter was a student, I would wake up early every morning to make lunchboxes. However, back then, I also had a job, so I couldn't make elaborate ones. That's why I feel a sense of accomplishment that I was able to make nutritious lunch boxes for my grown-up son every day. Andy, thank you for letting me do the job of a mother once again. As I finished reading this letter, my eyes became warm with tears. Although Sophia is my stepmother, I was able to feel the love of a mother through the lunch boxes. I think it's because of Sophia's lunch boxes that I was able to safely reach today. Thinking that way, I felt almost reluctant to pick up my chopsticks and eat the lunchbox. I carefully tucked the letter into my inner pocket and opened the lid of the lunchbox. On top of the white rice, there was seaweed-flavored simmered food, with the words written on it. Good job. Seeing this, a smile naturally appeared on my face. The taste of the last lunch box I ate was somewhat salty and tasted like tears. On my way home that day, I bought a bouquet of red carnations and handed it to Sophia along with the empty lunchbox. And I said to Sophia, "Mom, thank you for everything you've done." At that moment, Sophia was momentarily surprised, but she quickly smiled with a gentle and motherly expression.